In today's video, I show you how I make my homemade buttermilk biscuits. Fast and easy, 3 ingredients, they are awesome. For these biscuits, there's a little bit of prep work. It only involves taking a stick of butter, putting it in your freezer about 30 minutes ahead of time because you want it to be nice and firm to grate it down to put it in the flour. The second thing you want to do about 10 minutes before you get ready, if you don't have buttermilk, you can make your own buttermilk by putting about 3 tablespoons of lemon juice in regular milk, letting it sit. You got to let it sit so it'll curdle. And the third thing, right when you start making them, putting the ingredients together, you want to put your oven on 450 degrees, because by the time you get done putting the ingredients together and cutting your biscuits out, then the oven will be ready for you to throw them in there. So that's about the only prep work you need. Real easy stuff. Just a little note, if you use store-bought buttermilk, 2 1/3 cups of self-rising flour, and if you make your own buttermilk with the lemon juice and milk, it'll be waterier, so you want to use 2 1/2 cups of flour so your dough isn't too wet. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll put the recipe in the description. Thanks for watching. Okay, for these biscuits, there's only 3 ingredients. You got self-rising flour, butter, I use 1 whole stick of butter, and buttermilk. If you don't have buttermilk, you can do the lemon milk thing or the vinegar and milk thing. I've never done the vinegar and milk thing. But you need 1 cup of buttermilk. I actually do have some buttermilk right now. Falling all over the place. So you got 1 cup of buttermilk. And I was talking about the prep work. You need to chill 1 stick of butter. And we'll start with 2 1/3 cups of self-rising flour. And I'll sprinkle a bunch of flour all over this to keep the butter from sticking, because I'm going to grate the frozen butter. It's not totally frozen. I've only had it, you just want it hard. Only had it in there maybe an hour tops, but put flour all over this so it doesn't stick to it. And you just grate this whole thing. And when it's frozen, it's easier to grate and doesn't make such a smearing mess. I just use the majority of it. I get it down to where I think I'm not going to scrape my fingers anymore. And then this last little piece, I just throw it in a frying pan and use that to cook my scrambled eggs. So I'm going to throw that over there. And then I dump it in here. Get all you can. More butter, better. And I just kind of do it with my fingers to get it all coated so it doesn't stick together. And it's still cold, so it's a little hard, which is perfect. Okay. And what you do, put your buttermilk in. And I always use a wooden spoon. Not sure why this works good. It didn't stick to it. Well, it does stick to it, but just mix this all together. And usually this is enough where it's the right consistency, but sometimes I have to add a little bit of buttermilk. Which I think I'm going to. Probably shouldn't put that much. But the buttermilk out of a jug is not as watery as when you make it with lemon juice and plain milk. So yeah, just a little bit over a cup's perfect. See how it's all pulled away from the bowl. And I put some more flour on here so it doesn't stick. And there you are. Get every bit of it you can. More dough, more biscuits. And just kind of shape it. I keep a lot of flour in this so it doesn't stick, and it's not going to hurt to because the dough's a little bit damp anyway. And I do it all with my hands. Before I get too messy, I'm going to spray this with some non-stick, because that makes a good crispy bottom. And also helps it to not stick. I'll just flatten it out a few times. Usually about 4 times. I just kind of shape it in a square so I can get as many biscuits as possible out of it. And once again, I'll add flour so it doesn't stick. What's that, 3 times? We'll do a couple more just for fun. Now that's just how I do it. Some people say I'm working the dough too much, possibly from the videos I watch, but that's how I do it. And then pretty much just flatten it out to get a little bit of flour on this. You want to cut straight down. You don't twist. That's about how thick. That looks like about 1/2 inch, maybe 5/8. Get as many of them as I can. Try to keep the same thickness on all of them so they all cook the same. Can't make no more. Just pile it together and do it again. And continue to add flour so it doesn't stick. And I'll double it over a couple of times just to make sure it's going to layer and rise good. And if you think you got enough for another biscuit, do it again. It's not going to hurt. Needing it more. And when I don't think I got enough, I actually can make another one out of this. Look there. That would be cool. And then whatever's left, I just water it up and make a little thing. We like to eat that and dip it in honey or whatever. So, got your biscuits ready. And what I should have done is turn the oven on 450. You cook them for 8 minutes. So I'll be back in 8 minutes. All right, it's time to get them out of the oven. Hold just a moment. Close this back up. Turn this timer off. All right, there you have it. It's beautiful homemade buttermilk biscuits. The kids will love them.